You do every morning. Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place. I'll tell you what embrace, where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Everette, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. Where I am now. And if you'd like to see us live in WGPL 1350 studio, all you have to do is go to Everette's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in WGPL 1350 studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to www.christianbroadcastingcompany.com or WPCE 1400 AM or WGPL 1350 AM. And guess what? You can hear us all over the world. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
And WPCE 1400, good morning to you.
Facebook Live, you're on and you're popping. We also want to welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And we're here. It's a beautiful day, Mr. E, but we want all those that are looking, viewing us to please like, share, and comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
And we'll shout you out later in the show.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Absolutely. Mr. E, yes, it's a beautiful day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend.
Oh, yeah, I had a wonderful weekend. I want to say congratulations to the Word Singers on their fine concert they had on yesterday evening from 4 to 9.
And that was Easter, a beautiful Easter.
Yeah, a beautiful Easter. What a great time.
Absolutely. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you all had a wonderful time as well. But I tell you what, today is Monday, and it is Sports Talk, Mr. E.
That's right. It's Sports Talk on Monday. Guess what? And we're just as happy as a bug and a rug on Sports Talk.
Absolutely. And we want to introduce our special guest, Coach Robert Jones. He is NSU's finest. NSU, that's Norfolk State University, the green and gold. Let me say that again. NSU, of course, Norfolk State University. Behold the green and the gold.
That's it. Behold.
I got to get that right.
Green and gold. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
It's good to have you on. Thank you so much for taking your precious time on being our special guest on FYI Radio Show. We want to congratulate you because you've had a great season. But before we talk about your season, we want to find out a little bit more about you. We have your bio here, and it tells us that you are from New York, Queens, New York. You were born there, and you are... wow, you are an American basketball coach, currently the head men's basketball coach at Norfolk State University. You were named interim head coach on April 5th, 2013, and was named full head coach in February 2014. Mr. E, I didn't realize that Coach Jones had been there for that long.
That's right.
But yes, and then it goes on and on about he's in the midst of his ninth season as head coach of Norfolk State men's basketball. And NSU's 9-1 start to the 2021 to 22 season is the best start in MEAC history and the second best in HBCU history. And again, we want to say congratulations and thank you for being on FYI Radio Show. Now you had a great season. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about you first. What was your interest in basketball? Has it always been there? Was it something that you aspired to young?
You say that one more time. It's like the music playing underneath talking.
Okay, Mr. E, can you handle that? Coach Jones, we want to talk about your start in basketball. When did you begin your love for basketball? Did it start early as a child? Tell us a little bit about your beginnings.
I used to play baseball growing up, but then as I got a little older and I got taller, basketball kind of gravitated towards that. And then probably around my 6th grade, 7th grade year, I started playing basketball full time and didn't play baseball anymore. So that's how it really happened with that. A lot of my friends started to play basketball, got out of baseball, and I just kind of gravitated towards with them.
Absolutely. Now you've been in different universities or colleges or schools. I think St. Mary, was that one of the schools that you coached?
Yeah, St. Mary's High School.
Absolutely.
I want to apologize, Coach. I think that we got some bleeding in on us, so I apologize for the music in the background. And I'm doing everything that one could possibly do to turn down all the knobs so that you won't hear that bleeding in there. All right, go ahead, Ms. Hinton.
Okay, yes, just wanting to know about his beginnings at St. Mary's. What was that experience like?
I mean, it was good. I got a chance to coach some good players. Got a chance to coach Danny Green, which plays with the Philadelphia 76ers right now. That was my first head coaching job. Doing a freshman head coach, then being a varsity head coach. So those games, those experiences paid dividends in my journey as being a college head coach.
Absolutely. Did you ever aspire to be a professional basketball player?
Yeah, I think everybody who plays, wants to be a professional basketball player, but as we know, it's extremely hard to do. So, I wasn't able to achieve that feat, but I guess I was able to achieve being a professional basketball coach. So, to get paid for what to coach basketball.
Yes. Well, tell us about your beginnings at Norfolk State University.
I came there in 2007. As an assistant coach. I did that for 6 years. And then when the previous head coach went on to another university, I got elevated to interim head coach. And I did that for a year. And really right in the middle of that year, they elevated me to a permanent head coach. And I've been there ever since.
Well, let's talk about your season. You had a wonderful season this year. Tell us about it. How do you feel? The accomplishment, the team, and just tell us a little bit about the season.
Well, the season was, it was good. We finished 24-7, which was the highest win percentage in school history, and the second most wins. But then we were able to go to the NCAA tournament back to back, which was the first time in school history. So that was an amazing feat to get back to that tournament. And just overall, it was a great experience. To win that many games is not normal, and we understood that we had a very historic season. And of course, the 9-1 start to start the season was historic in itself.
Wow. What was your expectations for the year? What did you talk to your team about? How did they feel about their wins? How did they feel about their losers? Their loss? Tell us what the atmosphere was like this season as you coached.
I think the team, throughout the year, had a pretty positive attitude, pretty positive atmosphere. I mean, winning breeds that, so we did a lot of winning, and just to beat some of the teams we beat, Bowling Green and UC Wilmington and William and Mary and things like that. That was some good out of conference wins, and then it just kept us just fueled the fire for us to get back to the NCAA tournament, and we were able to do that.
Absolutely.
Coach, while you was playing that ball out there, how did some of the old players like Billy Robinson and Pick and all them boys that played, Bobby Dandridge and all them boys, did you have their support?
Did I have their support during the season?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Bob comes around. He came to the BX tournament, he's been around a few times to be around the team. So definitely is. Some of the other guys, not so much. At least I didn't see him, but Bob Davis definitely.
I know Pick is he's a Norfolk State. He's for Norfolk State. So how did the seniors respond to when y'all was preparing for these games? They know that this was their last game. They're with NSU. You had about one or two, I think, that was seniors preparing to go out. How was their attitude towards winning and at this time?
We really don't have any seniors. Everyone still has a year eligibility left due to people getting their year back last year due to COVID. NCAA granted another year of eligibility, but with those guys who are older, they wanted to get to the tournament, they wanted to get back to the tournament, and we were able to do that.
Wow.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the pandemic and how did it just put a halt to everything? What did you all do in the midst of that? Was there any training going on? How did it just freeze? Did everything just stop?
No, in the pandemic, we definitely were still training and still doing different things. Of course, we just different protocols with masks and testing and stuff like that. But we definitely were still operating and trading just like normal, but just with a little alteration.
Oh, very good. I want to know what NBA team you follow. Who do you look at? Who do you like? Who's your team? Do you have a basketball team that you love?
The New York Knicks.
Really? You're on Sports Talk, and we love to talk about, what's going on in the NBA and everything. Mr. E, what do you think about the Knicks? Mr. E made a little face when you said the Knicks. Tell me why, Mr. E.
See, I understand why he chose the Knicks.
Yeah. Because
he's a New Yorker.
That's right.
And because he's a New Yorker, he's going to pull with his hometown team, which I heard you said you had some players to leave NSU and went pro. Who was that?
We had Kyle Quinn a couple years ago who went pro.
Okay.
So
any pro material this year?
Yeah, we had a couple guys that can do it in the future. I'm not sure yet. What's going to happen. And, we'll see. You got Joe Bryant, Chris Mason, they both have a chance. They both have Joe Bryant, Chris Mason, that both have a chance. And, I think that we'll see what happens in the future.
You being a coach. Now I want to address the elephant in the room. You being the coach. Now, what do you think about the LA Lakers?
Sometimes, talent is not everything. Talent is just the first part of it, but you gotta mesh the right way. And sometimes you have too much talent. I know a lot of times people don't understand that theory. That you have all this talent, you're supposed to be good, but sometimes you have too much talent because everybody, they do have egos and things like that. So I think that it was just a wrong meshing of talent. I don't think the coach should have got fired. Really, I think a lot of times coaches get too much praise and too much blame. Coaches don't shoot the basketball. Coaches don't do stuff. Don't do things like that. So, and sometimes they get blamed, unfortunately, because at the end of the day, that man did win a championship just 2 seasons ago.
Absolutely.
So, I don't think that was right at all.
Okay.
So
but they're not going to fire LeBron, so I guess somebody got to get fired.
You say they're not gonna get rid of LeBron, so you think AD got to go? You think AD going?
No, I don't think he's going. I don't think any of the players go. I think they're going to try to find a new coach. Like the coach is going to be a scapegoat, so they're going to try to find a new coach, and hopefully it works out. And we'll see what happens. But I'm not quite sure if any of those guys going. Maybe Westbrook, maybe I don't know. But definitely not LeBron or AD. They're too valuable.
Are you ready to coach pro?
No, I don't want to coach pro.
Why?
I don't think the coach and the pro game don't get the same respect. I can't really go for that too much.
Okay.
Let's
So like the players drive the league in the pro game, and the coaches don't really have that same. They just have like for a figurehead, really.
Wow.
Okay.
I couldn't really do that at this point.
So tell us how your team is doing this season, the Knicks. You're a fan of the Knicks. Tell us what they're doing this season.
Garbage.
Well, the season is over for them.
You didn't hear what I said,
You
did
didn't
you,
hear
Coach?
this.
Coach, you didn't hear what I said, did you? I said garbage. I said garbage.
Huh? We said they didn't do that. They're out for right now. Anybody, any other team that you're kind of looking at? Any other games that you've been looking at?
Brooklyn.
Nah, I just watch now just as a casual fan. Really. Just watch the games or whatever I'm able to watch them.
Oh, wow.
You know, Coach, I hear you got your bell on in the back of you. But, Coach, tell me something. Has the fundamental of basketball changed in your eyesight? Has they stopped playing basic basketball and everybody wants to shoot 3-pointers and all that? Have they stopped that?
No, I don't think the game is just evolving into a different game. That's all. It's just like, back in the day when, they didn't want people to dunk. And now people start dunking. And, before, like, if you look at when, like, guys like George Mikan and those guys who were, like, really good players in the 40s and 50s played, the game was like an elementary school game back then. Like, by the time I watched the middle school games, and they was better than what it looked like in the 40s and 50s in the NBA. But now it's like the game has changed. The players are different. The players are more athletic. They're more creative.
Wow.
So the three-pointer is just the way the game is right now. Now, do I totally believe that just shooting threes, constantly, that's not really one of my philosophies, but I understand which way the game is going, though. And without that three-point shooter on your team, you're probably not going to have a lot of success.
Wow.
You listen to FYI Radio Show. Our special guest is none other than Coach Robert Jones from Norfolk State University. Behold the green and gold.
Tell us what's next for the Spartans, Coach. Tell us, what are you all going to do now that, all the games are over? When do you train, or what happens now?
Yeah, we just stay practicing, well, not practicing, but just working out and just get ready for next season. I mean, next season is starting, now in a sense. The off season is where you really make your biggest strides. You really gonna make a lot of individual strides during the season. That's what the team growth. So individuals are now working on their games to try to get better from that standpoint to get ready for next season.
I was looking at how basketball is played, Coach, and I wanted to get back into the basic fundamental of basketball. Do you think that 6'7", 7-footers should be guards bringing the ball down, or do you think the guards should bring them down?
If you're 6'7" and a guard, you're a guard. There's no height limit on being a guard. So easy like that. If you're a 7-foot guard, you're a 7-foot guard. Those days of just having 6-foot guards is way over. That's ancient basketball at this point.
Okay.
These kids are they're so far advanced at an early age than anything that you ever seen. I mean, when I started in the 8th grade, I watched some kids that he played at some of these major camps, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" already in 8th grade and playing the guard position.
Wow.
So this is way different than that. So to your question, I'm not really quite sure because
Oh, so you trying to tell me I'm dinosaur?
I mean, you said I did it.
Look, Coach, tell us how you handle yourself as a celebrity, because you are a celebrity. Everybody loves the green and gold, honey. And tell us how you kind of handle, people that kind of like being around someone that is really accomplished and doing great things.
I handle it I try to handle it the best I can. I mean, it's a little different now because more attention. Even when I try to go watch my son's games and stuff, people come to me. I watch the game on the weekend and people will come to me, talk to me and say a good season and things like that. And I'm not really even in coach mode. I'm just trying to be in father mode, so that's a little different. As far as just trying to just separate yourself, but you can't separate yourself.
Okay.
So, everybody's doing it. They're pretty respectful, so it's not like a huge deal. So I'm all right with it. It's not really my personality. Sometimes people ask for pictures and stuff like that. I really don't understand why they want a picture with me, but I do it anyway. So.
Yes. Oh, you have now tell us about your son. You have a son playing ball?
Yeah, he's he plays basketball. So he's on his journey right now. He got four more years of high school before hopefully he'll be a college basketball player himself. So what's going to happen?
Well, in the NBA and in the NBA, there's a lot of father and son players out there in the NBA. Now, LeBron said that he's going to play along with his son. What do you think about that mixture?
That's a big thing because one, his son, I think his son is a high school junior, so he still has one more year of high school, and then we'll see whether he is able to play 1 year of college, 2 years of college, whatever it might be. But if his son is not an NBA player right away, which is no guarantee that's going to be, I mean, you're talking about maybe a 5-year process for him to even get to the NBA. And so LeBron is going to be playing at 40, I guess he'll be 42 years old in 5 years. I mean, that would be a amazing feat in itself. But also, I do think that you put a lot of pressure on your son to become an NBA player because since LeBron James doesn't mean he's an NBA player. He still has some growing, some work to do. So I think he's on a good trajectory, I think, from a player standpoint. But there's no given to be an NBA. NBA is a very select company.
Yeah.
And no matter who your daddy is, it's a very select company. And we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
I definitely put a lot of pressure on Robbie.
Yeah.
Look, tell us if you have young freshmen wanting to be on the team, wanting to be an SU Spartan. Tell us what it takes and how do you handle the new group, the freshmen?
The freshmen, I mean, we don't really have a lot of freshmen from year to year. We have usually a couple, and it's really like they have to just assimilate and integrate into. Separate period, and like I said, usually the good ones adjust pretty quickly, and sometimes others take a little longer.
Coach, all the coaches are all around town. They're looking up to you, Coach Plummer from Maury High School, Coach from Booker T. Washington. I talked to all of them, and Coach Sanders. All the coaches locally are really looking up to you, saying you are one of the best cats that one should ever know and have in your pocket, So, I won't say congratulations to you because all the coaches have nothing but good things around the 757 to say about Coach Jones from Queens, New York.
I appreciate those guys because, honestly, being an import from somewhere else, you got to gain people trust and respect, and respect is earned, it's not given. So I'm glad I've earned their respect.
Now, one of the questions that I need to know right quick: when you walk on the campus of NSU, do you poke your chest out, or do you just do you?
I don't do that. That's not even my personality. I don't do that. First of all, I really hardly walk on the campus. To be honest with you, I can be in this arena all day. But when I do walk on campus, it's not like that at all. I think that's why people could, understand me and understand the ability. It's not like that at all. Like I just try to mind my business.
So what's next for the coach? What's next for Coach Robert Jones of Norfolk State University? What's next?
Hopefully a three-peat, hopefully a third championship in a row next year. We'll see what happens. Championships are hard, and they're definitely not giving at all those championships. So hopefully we can get another championship. With this group that we have assimilated, for next year. So assimilated for next year. So we'll see what happens. But I think we got a good shot. I think we'll have some players coming back, and hopefully we'll have a couple good recruits, and go from there.
What's next? When I want to know what's next with Coach Jones in your personal life, is there a book writer there, or is there just a plain long dad, or what is your personal life like as a coach in basketball? As after you get off the basketball coach, what's next? What one does?
Usually now in the offseason, I just try to attend to whatever my son got going on. Really, he's playing AAU, and I try to help him get better as a player because he has aspirations and dreams of being a Division I player. So I just try to help him understand what it really takes to be a Division I player. Because I think sometimes kids don't fully understand it. They think that you just go and just play a little basketball and you're going to be a Division I player and stuff. So for him, I guess he has the luxury of having a Division I head coach in his household.
Yeah.
I just tell him like what it really takes to be a Division I basketball player. Some things he might like, some things he might not like, but if he does it, he'll probably be a Division I basketball player. So he really takes up most of my time, and then other stuff. There was a company that did approach me about doing a book because they thought my story was pretty interesting, but I haven't really done anything with that yet.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Jones, you had a wonderful season. You and the team. We want to say congratulations again. What would you tell youngsters, young ladies and young men about basketball? And a lot of them want to go to the NBA and they want to play. What advice would you give them now?
I would tell them that if you want to be a basketball player, you can live out your dreams. You can do whatever you want to do, but it's gonna take hard work. The thing is, there's 10 billion other people trying to do the same dream that you're doing. So what's gonna separate you? And usually it's gonna be your work ethic. So if you can have some work ethic, then things can happen. Because the things you can't control, you really can't control height. You can't control stuff like that. So there's no drills to get taller, whatever the case. But you can definitely control how hard you play and how hard you work. And I think a lot of times that's going to separate you between other people that's trying to get the same goal that you're trying to do. So, just got to have a good work ethic.
Are there any camps, anything that young people that are interested in basketball or sports from NSU, is there anything that's going on that you can give contact information or website information?
Yeah, there is, but we don't have our camp dates solidified as of yet. So those will be solidified soon, and they'll be on our website.
Okay. Well, we want to say thank you and congratulations. Thank you for being on the show and for all that you do. Keep up the good work because you're working hard and it's showing. And so we want to say congratulations. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Appreciate it.
And Coach, anything we can do for you, got us. So if you want to come back on, you're more happy to come back on.
All right. Appreciate you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Mr. E. Wow, that's a wonderful, wonderful time with Coach Robert Jones from Norfolk State University. Behold the green and the gold.
That's right. Behold the green and gold.
So, all right. So we're going to talk about our upcoming shows. We'd like for you all to come on over here to Yolanda Hinton's page or Everette, or go to Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube, and enjoy rest of the time with us. We're going to talk about some things that are happening with FYI Radio Show and more. God bless you. We're going to see you back here on Wednesday.
Where I am now, better than before. Through those open doors, where I am now.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton. And if you'd like to be a sponsor or intern, or if you want to be a part of FYI Radio Show or be our special audience, all you have to do is email us your email and let us know that you'd like to be a special guest, or call us at 757-714-7861. Don't forget to join us on Wednesday for What's Under the Hat of Men, and then on Fun Friday from 9:30 to 10 right here on WGPL 1350 AM, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
All right. Oh, I want to say good morning to Tracy Porter. How are you, young lady? I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. What's going on in the ATL, honey? I'm hoping to see you real soon, like in June. I will be there. Sheila Robbins, how are you, sweetheart? Roberta Carter, that is a cute little meme up here. Good morning to you. You all are wonderful, and you all are a blessing. Those that are on YouTube, bless you. Those that are on LinkedIn, thank you for joining us. Twitter is there. Facebook Live, you all come through for us all the time. Coach Jones, man, I'm excited. I know he's excited, but I'm very excited because, to have a university right here in our area that's really doing great things, playing good ball and representing is just it's just an awesome feeling. Roberta, I think did you go to Norfolk State University? I know you are quite proud of your school, and it's so many that have gone. Mr. E mentioned about some of the colleges and other coaches that play. Really, really think highly of him. Some of the high school coaches, but I have a few friends that are coaching middle school that have also said how it was a blessing to know Coach Jones and to observe the things that he's doing, and to see to be able to see greatness in real time. And so, Mr. E, we salute Coach Jones. He's modest. He's a little modest about what he's done, but it has been a great thing to see them go so far this season. And so our hats are off to him. We're going to have our What's Under the Hat coming back on Wednesday. We have some great guests coming up, and Mr. E, who's going to be here.
Just want to let you know that our special guest on Box Top will be none other than Marvin Scott, and also Mr. Sean Lamont, along with their attorney, will be here on Wednesday to talk more about custody and child support.
Yes, we did an introduction on last Wednesday talking about custody and child support, what's under the hat, issues concerning men. And I'm telling you, guys really want to talk about this particular subject. And they are really wanting to let people know that there are certain things in place that have been unfair, certain systems, and the judicial system have been against. This is what's under the hat. That's been against them, and people not understanding the role that men play in wanting their children and wanting things to be fair. These are some of the things that these guys have been talking about, and guys across the board. I don't know. I'm hoping that we can have a really good dialogue, and those that are viewing us can get in on it. Even you ladies, please, 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 we would love to hear from you as we talk about this subject. What's under the hat, issues concerning men, custody and child support, what the courts have done, how you feel, what you've done. We have a lot of single mothers or women that are not married now that have their children, and they're in that place of I'm going to say
Two.
World War II. But we're not just talking about that side of it. We're talking about the side where people are getting along and they co-parent and they're doing well and they know how to do it without the courts. But that's not everybody's story. And so we want to make sure that we can find out each side. Now, ladies, we're not going to hear your side yet. There is going to be a time when we're going to introduce issues concerning women. We have some things in store for you all. But in the meantime, this is what men feel. This is what they think. This is what they want to say. This is what they've been trying to say for the longest time. And so they have their chance on this Wednesday show. This is our Wednesday segment, What's Under the Hat? Issues concerning men, and we're going to continue letting them speak out, letting them talk.
And that's what it's all about, Miss Hinton, letting men speak out and let folks listen to what men has to say.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to one of the hardest things in the world, that's child support and custody of their children. Some men love their children, and see, you cannot take away the love that a daddy has for his son or daddy has for his daughter. Maybe the mama and the daddy couldn't get it together, and they couldn't get along. So since the mom and dad couldn't get along, sometimes we got to really pay close attention to what's going on, because when it comes to the children, we don't want to use the children in a battle. We don't want to use the children like a bullet in a gun. We don't want to use the children where there be odds at one another. We want to make sure that the children be on the neutral side. That's their mama. That's their daddy. And they love both of them. Because if it wasn't for mama, if it wasn't for daddy, the child wouldn't be here. That's right.
Yeah. So we want to balance. Men want to balance. They want to make sure things are fair. They know how the courts have treated them. And, sometimes we ask how it has changed. And a lot of men are saying it hasn't, that the courts are still unfair. And then again, like Mr. E said, women sometimes use children as a bullet in the gun, to fight. And to keep their children away from men. We've seen those scenarios. I've seen where men and women are really working together. They are really doing it without the courts. They are, making it well balanced, and it's all about the children. And so we're going to talk about that. I love that segment, and we're going to probably do it this week and next week.
That's right.
Just giving you that information on how men feel about custody and child support.
And you got to really pay close attention to it, because it becomes a battle. It becomes evil. It becomes odds against one another. I can't stand her. And it doesn't just stop there. It's a long, long process.
Yes.
You got some men and you got some women right now that are really about ready to take their lives away, or they cannot function anymore because their children are no longer there. And then we got to pay close attention to what's going on, that we can hurt our children, because it can be a repeated process in our children. You just like your daddy. Your daddy ain't no good, so you ain't going to be no good. So now when the child is a little older and all he can hear in the back of his head, my mama said, I'm just like my daddy, I'm no good. So when he do see his father, when he do see his daddy, him and his daddy is at odds because of the picture that's been painted of his father. The thing we got to understand in life is, Miss Hinton, is that Our children gonna be children.
Mhm.
Fathers and mothers gonna be mothers and fathers. Now we don't have why we just can't get along. Why
Yes.
we just can't raise the children, and why we got to let our personal feelings get involved. If you don't want the man, don't have the man's baby. If
Wow.
you don't want the woman, don't put her in a predicament where she's having your child.
Yes.
And then we got to learn how to be honest. If we got children by women that we're not with, or men
Mm.
that we're not with, let's come to some mutual agreement where you would be able to see your child and your child be able to see you.
Yes.
This has been a long process. This process of bickering, this process of arguing, and the only person that's going to get hurt in the process is the child.
Yeah, sometimes people cannot uh, put aside their differences for their children. They don't know how to. They have to bring everybody into the drama, and so you end up also wanting the child to take your side. Be on my side. Children, they kind of gravitate to mom
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah.
And so mom really has a lot of power
That's
when
right.
it comes
That's
to
right.
how she shapes, the perspective of that man.
That's right.
And so if she sees him as a no good man, because he no longer wants to give or do for her, or she'll paint that picture
That's right.
sometimes.
That's right.
Wherein if she could just let him be the father to the child,
And not to her.
and and say, well, that what you call it is in the grave. The relationship between me and that man is over.
That's right.
But he is still the father of the children, and let's try to see if he can be just that. Our guest on last week talked about him making sure he was whole as an individual, making sure he was coming to the table as a father to do his very best. He did not want to be coined as a misfit or unfit, or what is that other deadbeat dad. But he knew he had to step up.
That's right. Miss Hinton, and this is the whole thing. You said it so perfectly clear. So Wednesday, I want our listening audience to pay close attention and listen to what's going on. Because if they don't have a relationship, the mom and daddy doesn't have a relationship, you will still continue to have a relationship, know it or not. That's contradicting in each other. Because if I don't have a relationship, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a husband, a wife relationship with the lady, we still have a relationship because of the child.
Absolutely.
And so we might as well fess up. We might as well drop the knives and drop the gun and drop the swords and take the bullets out of the gun, because for the rest of their lives, you want to be whole, and so the daddy wants to be whole. It seems to be a one-sided thing, especially when it comes to the men. The men they may not be the best male or the best role model, or they may be dogs, which you might put them in a category. But you got to remember, there's some good daddies just as well as some bad fathers out there, and all this man wants is a chance. He might not want the woman, or the woman might not want him, but he wants the chance to do right by his children.
Yes. Now there are plenty of deadbeats, and we can admit it on both sides. There are some women that will not do right by their children.
That's right.
But they sometimes want to keep the man from being, that parent that can to aid. And we've seen so many scenarios.
We've seen it happen.
There's so many scenarios out there, and so this organization, these young men are coming to try to bridge the gap.
That's right.
To get help, get education, because that's one of the things that's needed, Mr. E. If people knew how to parent,
that's right.
They could balance everything. If they could stay out of the courts, because the courts have favored women for the longest time. And if they do have to go to court, each one of them should be in agreement that, hey, this is how we want to do things. This is how we want to bring up our children. Keep the children's best interest at heart. It's just too much at times.
And not making the parents bad dogs. We put so much mess in our children's heads that our children can't function in school. We put so much mess. We mess our children up because we want to paint a picture. I got to do this. I got to do this. Your daddy ain't did this. Listen, let's cut that mess out. If you allow that man, even though the man got another woman, and even though the woman got another man, if you allow them to help raise their children, they don't have to come and change the rules around in your house to raise your child. All they want to do is take care of the child, take their child out every now and then to see them at a movie, to do a father and daughter's dance, or to walk her down the aisle when she get grown and ready to marry, or to see the son play football and to go with him. We got to stop it. We got to stop it. And we wonder why there's mental illness. We wonder why that our children grow up being hateful and because they don't know how. They don't know what side of each family member may have. Boo-boo, the daddy side may have some crazy folk on the inside, and you wonder why your son crazy, because you ain't really looked at the daddy side, and you wonder why your son acting out because you really ain't looked at the mama side. So, we all got to evaluate, and we all got to look at things not in cockeyedness, but in straight eyes.
Well, it would be a good thing to lay a foundation where you are in a wholesome relationship, whether it's married or are you going with each other. Because when you are, just laying up, and all of a sudden there's a baby, you all don't have a real relationship, that really can get in the way of business. A child can come in, and now, where you all having fun and doing your thing. Now here's some real business coming along. You got to now decide where the money's going to go to, how the money is going to be given to the child. You're not in a relationship with the person. So it's like, how am I going to give you money? And I don't even love you. I don't even like you. I'm just laying up with you.
That's right.
How am I gonna take care of you when I don't want to take care of you? How can I take care of a child that I didn't even want? And so it would be a good thing to, just for them to send that message out, as they educate, men and women in this organization, that look, try to start first of all with taking care of yourself and not allowing yourself to have children when you really don't want to, or when you're not in a relationship. Because when you, like I said, when you bring that element in, it is definitely going to cause problems when that relationship is not on a solid foundation. Now you're going to be playing tug of war with a child. Now some men are going to walk away from a child or a mother. Some of them say, it ain't my baby. That's the first thing that come out of some of these men's mouths sometimes. It ain't my baby. Well, it could have been yours because you were laying up with them. And so you got to kind of think about what you're doing, make decisions. If I'm going to bring a child into the world, what is going to be like? If things don't work out with this person, how are we going to handle it? And if you can't get along with each other, that's when you got to bring the courts. And if you want to come before an unjust judge, then because you're not doing business right, then he is going to decide your future, your child's future, where that money goes, and period. Point blank, period. That's how it's going to be.
And you got to remember, daddies, when daddies are out there, your child has to be taken care of. You can't look for just one parent to carry the load. That one parent did not make that child by itself. It took both of y'all to make that child. So yeah, get that out of your mind that she's getting child support payment to take care of herself. Well, she got to keep a roof over your baby's head. She got to put food in your baby's belly. She got to give him the right proper equipment that is needed to raise that child up. He got to have soap and he got to have water. So all of that is in the house, So because you get to the point where she's going out here and party with a girlfriend, but guess what? She got to make a safe haven for your children. She got to make a place where where you would want your child to live. He got to have a bed. He got to have some clothes. She just can't take, well, this is what I want to. And some daddies then got to the point where all you want to pay is $25. And how in the world can a child or mother raise a child on $25? That won't even give him no Pablo. Won't even give him no baby bottle. won't even buy a box of Pampers. Brothers, we got to do better than what we're doing, especially when it comes when the relationship is shattered, when the man and the woman don't get along, and the child is in the midst of all of that.
Yes.
We got to stop throwing guns. We got to stop throwing knives. We got to stop bad mouthing each other, because that's the mother of your child. That's the father of your child. So your child has to look at you not in crooked eyes, but in straight eyes. I want y'all to know that that's why our children are crazy today. That's why our children, and I'll take that back. That's why so many mental illness is going on in our schoolhouse between our children, because they're in a battle. Instead of you being in a custody battle down at the courthouse, you got a custody battle in somebody else's house, in the woman's house. Because like Miss Hinton said, the children are being just like tug of war. They're being pulled over here and being pulled over there. And then they turn around and play that game. I'm going to tell my daddy. I'm going to tell my mama. I'm going to my daddy's house and live. I'm going to my mama's house. I want to be emancipated. I want to get away from you, because they don't like your rules, and they got good rules over your dad's house. He can do whatever they want to do. So there are some problems. We got to come together and learn how to raise the children in the right space, in the right airway.
So many problems. But I tell you what, on Wednesday, What's Under the Hat, Issues Concerning Men, we have a Vox Pop that's going to be on, and they're going to share from a man's perspective what men go through.
That's
now,
right.
Ladies, I know you all have your stories, like I said earlier.
We're going to talk
we'll
about
get
you
that
too.
on another day.
That's what the courts does. That's what the courts does. You just did what the courts do.
Tell me what that is.
When a woman goes and apply on a file for child support, and then a man is looking to said he wants to know where children is, the court said that's another day. That's another case. You got
There's another time.
Yeah, that's another time for that. Right now, we're only dealing with that. What does that matter? And that's the woman filing for a child support.
Yes. Well, we're going to talk about that and what's legal, what's illegal, and men's rights. And, we do want to have some compassion on our men folk. Some of them do want to take care of their children. Some of them have gotten the bad end of the stick, but we'll be discussing that, Mr. E, along with other things. We want to say good morning to Philip Plump, Modell Lewis. She says, since clothes. She said, what, $25?
Shoes and clothes. What? $25? So you got to remember, hey, that's how I get. You know what it is. We know what it is. And then you got to get to the point in this custody battle or in this child support battle. Get other folks out your business.
Oh my goodness. Honey.
Get other folks. You got folks whispering in your ear, girl, if this was me, when you go over her house, she ain't got not nail slug coming in her crib, but she want to tell you what she would do.
Well, the other day we were discussing the fact that some women won't even take a man to court or anything else, won't require. He's too, I can't, that's my baby daddy. I can't get no money out. I can't take him to court. I can't. And so, some men stay irresponsible because a woman won't, do what she has to do in getting what she needs for her child. She'll rather suffer than go after that man. Those are some things that we'll be talking about as well.
And because I think some of the women that don't want to go after their husband or boyfriend or a baby daddy because of fear, they want to say, listen, I want to cut all ties from that person, so I don't want him to give me no child support. I don't want to have nothing to do with him. One of our guests on Box Top, Marvin Scott, said that he went into the children's room and saw one of the toys that the children used to play with, the child and it broke him down.
Wow.
Because he wanted that child to be with him so bad, but now he's in a battle. And then he said, Miss Hinton, that the court system told him they would reduce his child support payment long as he don't come and try to get custody of his children.
It is amazing.
It's a one-sided thing. So you win, lose. You be darned if you do and darned if you don't.
Well, I tell you what, like I said, There are different sides and different experiences. And for those that need an advocate and they need information and education about how they can have rights to see their children or have custody or, a balanced support, that goes out to the child, just tune in on our Wednesdays for us, What's Under the Hat. And just see, what is going on from a man's perspective. As I listen, and this is it, Missy, you got to learn how to listen to a man.
Yeah.
Because, women want to feel as though they can feel what a man feels. Sometimes you don't know what he feels.
That's
you got to
right.
hear what's going on under his hat. You got to know that, well, if I was him, I would do it this way. But if I was a man, no. We got to hear what they think. Because when I think about men, and we've talked about this, the emotions of a man, people don't think that men have emotions.
That's right.
They don't think they care. They don't think they have that fatherly thing in them. They don't think they have that, they just feel like a man is supposed to be hard and, ego driven and stuff like that. But when it comes to those the tender things and the emotional things of a man, they're there too. But you got to find out how they express themselves, and you got to learn what a man is. You got to see what he is. You got to hear what he is. You got to know from his perspective what he is.
That's right. And you got to remember that when a man raises his voice, he's not arguing. That's the key. He's only showing a passionate side of him when he raises his voice. He's not trying to start a fight. Mm-mm. He's not trying to start an argument. And all he's doing is showing the passionate side of him because he's trying to get his point across.
Yeah, as long as he do that without a fist.
That's right.
Then we can really believe that.
That's right.
And like you said, he can be passionate. He may be expressive in a certain way, and that's another thing. How men express themselves. It may be different than how ladies express, but we got to find out those things so we can get along with each other. Also, we have coming up. We're going to continue with our Women in History this month, but then we're going to change the agenda. We'll be sharing that in May, some of the things that we're going to do. And in the meantime, we have our guest for this Wednesday and for Sports Talk next week. Mr. E, who's coming?
We got Mr. Ronnie Joyner, who's a great sports analyst that sits on the sideline and look at sports as sports. And because we're getting down to the playoffs, and so he's going to be here to tell us his opinion about what's going on. I know some of y'all don't like sports, but hey, look,
I love it.
And I know some of y'all is falling in love with sports because guess what? Even though your man likes sports, we're teaching you how to get on the good side of your man by sitting there eating hot dogs and popcorn, tater chips, and even though you don't know the game, watch the game.
But I found out that a lot of ladies, Mr. E, they're into sports more than ever before.
That's right.
They know the game, they follow the NBA, the NFL, and other sports as well. And so, they're really getting educated. And then now that you have women playing professional ball, it is absolutely awesome to look at. And for all those sports lovers, just keep tuning in on our Mondays to Sports Talk, and we'll just tell you what we know and what we hear and what we study and research, to bring to you some great shows. We want to thank our special guest, Coach Robert Jones, who, man, to me, he is a celebrity because he is definitely doing his thing and bringing the green and gold to higher heights, in sports. And so we just want to say thank you again, Coach Robert Jones. Don't forget to follow us on social media now.
Tell them about it.
Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and of course, Facebook Live.
That's 4 different platforms that you can follow us on. And don't forget that we can share or tag Instagram. So there'll be 5 platforms that you can hear us on. You can see us on. Now, not only that, we have the World Wide Web that you you can hear us all over the world on your cell phones, on your radios. That's 6 platforms that you can hear us on. And not only that, you can hear us on WPCE 1400 and WGPL 1350. That's 8 different platforms that you can hear us on right now. And then push come to shove, we got 2 more. 95.3 and 88.9. That's 10 platforms that you can hear FYI radio show on. So you can't say you can't hear us. All you got to do is share, like, and subscribe. And guess what? 10 platforms that FYI. That means that we have social media locked down so that if you say you can't hear us, hey, look, let me tell you. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook Live, if you're on AM and FM radio, and if you're on, you can hear us right there. 10 different platforms just for you, where we bring you nothing but the very best to help you rise above mere survival. Brought to you by the Lady and Mr. E.
Absolutely. Don't forget, follow us on social media, subscribe. Don't forget the Ladies Pie, Tuesdays and Thursdays. They're available. Also, the music is online everywhere. The book, oh my goodness, is almost ready for distribution. We just have a few more days, and the book, Bullying is Right Underneath Your Nose, will be there for you all to behold. You can be a special guest, intern, or sponsor. Miss E's going to tell you how you can do that. We need to fill our calendars for the month of May, and so on and so on. So it's been wonderful. You all are a blessing. We're glad that you have joined us, especially those that we can see on Facebook Live. Sheila Davis is here, Mardell Lewis, Philip Plum, Roberta Carter, Tracy Porter, Sheila Robbins. We just thank you all. And those that I don't see, you all are a blessing as well. So we'll see you on Wednesday, on Hump Day, with What's Under the Hat Issues Concerning Men. Have a wonderful and pleasant day.
And don't forget, by the way, that coming up in June, you'll be able to hear FYI for 1 hour. Yeah, coming up in June, we'll be on an hour of live radio, no podcast. It'll be live. When you see us later on, it was a live show. Listen, don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Wednesday, we have Marvin Scott and Sean Lamont on our Box Pop. And then the last Wednesday of this month, we have the lawyer to tell us more about what you can do, what a man can do. What a wonderful man, what a man could do, especially when it comes to going to the law. So you got to pay close attention to it. And don't forget to join us on Sports Talk. Ronnie Joyner will be our special guest on this Monday. And guess what? Fun Friday. And don't forget, Mother's Day is right around the corner.
My goodness, yes.
So, hey, pay close attention, and you too can be a winner right here on WPCE 1400 WGPL on FYI Radio Show. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Inbox us with special guests. Inbox and let us know that you would like to be in our audience, and give us your email so we can pull you in. Don't forget, we bring you nothing but the very best. All right?
All right. So we'll see you all on Wednesday. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.
On Hump Day! Yeah, that's what it is.